like to share with you on this week's Parshas, Toldos, something very nice from the Rebbe's father, Rabbi Yitzchok Zatzal. In this week we have the famous story, Yitzchok and Rivka, they gave birth to children. And it says, when they gave birth, twins came out. First came out Esav, and afterwards Yaakov came out. And his hand had a grip, was holding on the heel of Esav. With this, Rabbi Yitzchok explains a very interesting Gemara in Avodah Zarah, Daf Yud Amud Beis. The Gemara says over there a story, and Rabbi Yitzchok takes apart every single detail of that story. You could look it up in Torah's Rabbi Yitzchok on Mesichta Avodah Zarah, but we're just going to focus here concerning our parsha. So it says like this. In this week's, the Gemara says like this: the Ahu Keser, there was this emperor of Rome. That was son of Yedoy. He hated the Jews. He said to the important members of his parliament, he asked this question: Misha also nima baragloi, someone who developed an ulcerous sore, like Rashi says, it's bossa mace, like dried skin on the bottom of his foot, that it's not living anymore. So what should he do? Yikteena, should he cut it off? Or if he'll live like that, shouldn't spread? Or you should let it and it'll have pain. He was referring here to the Yidden, which is, he compared to them like an ulcerous sore in the bottom of his foot. And there was a man, Ketia Basholem, the Gemara explains over there, he became a convert, and he told him, you will not succeed destroying the Jewish people. Perhaps we'll talk about another time what he answered him. I want to just focus a beautiful, interesting explanation about the first part. Ask Rabbi Levi a couple of questions. Why does the Gemara refer to him to the name Hahu Keser? What's the word Keser? Kuf Yud Samach Reish. Also, why did he call the Yidden Yehudoi, the Jews? He should call them Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael, the Yidden. And also, why did he compare the Yidden to a ulcerous sore, dried, dead skin on the bottom of a foot? What's the meaning of all this? Why did he compare this dead meat to Jews? And why do you think the Jews are dead? Answer Rebbe Yitzchok. This was talking about a time after the Churban Bayis Sheni, the destruction of the Second Temple. The Jews were under the rulership from the Romans. According to Chazal, the Yidden, Yehudoim, come out from Yaakov Avinu, of course. Children are from the Yud Beis Shvatim, the Yidden. Esav, many, many places in Shas and in Medrash, and even in the end of this week's Parshas, Rashi says that from the descendants of Esav, they left Eretz Yisrael, and they went across the Mediterranean, and they landed in Italy, Rome. So the descendants of Esav are the Roimi, are the Romans. And with this, Rabbi Yitzchok says a beautiful remez right away. If you take the words Hahu Keser, Hahu adds up to 17. Keser Kuf Yud Samach Reish adds up to 370. Put it together, 17 and 370, you have 387. And that's exactly the same gematria as Esav, which is 376, Ayin Sinvov. And then at the end of this week's parsha, it said he had 11 chiefs. If you count up how many the Ve'ela Lufi Esav, there was 11. So 11 and 376 is 387. So Ahu Keser adds up exactly to, it tells you, where this Keser came from. He's from the descendants of Esav and his 11 Alufim, his 11 chiefs. Now this was after the Churban, and he thought the Jewish people is like Atzoma Savacious. They dried up bones. They're not going to live. They're dead. And he wanted to know, should I destroy them completely? He compared them to something in the bottom of his foot, hinting to this week's Parsha. Yaakov was holding on to the heel of Esau. And he said, he's holding on to a little bit of the bottom of our feet, just like Yaakov did by Esau. Should I just cut it off? It's like a dead meat because of the Golos, Chas v'Sholom. And should I just get rid of them? Or we'll just have to suffer with them. And of course, Ketiyah Bar Sholem said, you'll never succeed in destroying the Jewish nation. So with this, Rabbi Levi Yitzchok explains so beautiful that's why you'll understand why he called them Yehudoim and not Yisraelim. And it's hinted over here, and it seems like that Rabbi Levi Yitzchok, look good in his words, he learns like the Megala Amukos. It says in the pasuk, "V'yodoi oichezes ba'akev Esav." His hand was holding into the heel of Esav. Yodoi is spelled Yud Dalet Vov. Yud Dalet Vov is like Yud. Change around the letters Yud. The Yud Akev. So a Yud, that's where the Jewish name comes from. Yidden. Yehudoi, a Yehudi comes from the word Yud. So this is why the Keser called not Yisrael, but he called them Yehudim, to symbolizes the pasuk over there, that this Yud over here, this Yid is holding on to the Yehudoyim, are holding on to the heel of Esau. And should I get rid of them? It says Rabbi Yitzchok, another interesting remez. Rashi says the word sore in the Gemara is nima, nun yud mem aleph. He thought this skin over here, this dried skin, this dead skin, is similar to the Yidden. Nima, sore is spelled nun yud mem aleph. You add it together, it's 101. Rashi says he thought this is dead mess, dead skin. Mess adds up to what? 440. Add up these two words together, 440 and 101, you get to 541. And that's exactly the gematria of Yisrael. Yud Sin Resha Aleph Lamed adds up to 541. So all this together, this Keser, who came from the Alufim, the Esav, and his 11 Alufim, the gematria of Ahu Keser. He called them Yudoyim, symbolized this week's Parsha of this Yaakov, this Yud Akev, who held it on to the heel of Esav, and that's why he thought they're dragging with us. Let's get rid of them. The dead meat because of the Golus adds up to Yisrael, Nima Mes. And Ketiyah Bar Sholem told him, you'll never ever succeed in destroying the Jewish people. And like the Gemara continues over there, just like Hashem says, I spread around the Jews, L'ruchei So'ilam. And the Gemara learns out over there, the Pshat is just like the winds of the world will never stop existing. Also, the Yidden will also never stop existing. But you see how beautiful, or every word and every expression in the Gemara, it symbolizes over here that this Roman emperor, descendant from Esav, wanted to destroy and hate the Yidden just like Yaakov, just like Esav hated Yaakov, but he tried, he wanted to, and as we know, Am Yisrael Chai Leilam Voed, Nitzchi Leilam Voed. Yidden are the Eibishter's Ata B'Chatonim Mikol Ha'amim.